Ladies and gentlemen, there's anger on the streets of Kolkata. Angry and upset, young women doctors, trainees, students have taken out rallies and protests hours after one of their colleagues, a 31-year-old postgraduate trainee of RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, was found brutally murdered and sexually assaulted at the seminar room. The FIR states it as a case of rape and murder. The woman was like any other working woman in this country, a young student training and working hard, pursuing her ambitions. But her body was recovered semi-nude. Pardon me, and let me sound an alert. We usually don't give out gory details, but in this case, we are marking an exception because it's painful, shocking, humiliating, and unbelievable that this would happen to a working woman, let alone a doctor, however junior or trainee, while on duty. Yes, very important words, while on duty. She was bleeding from her eyes and mouth, injuries all over face and nails, bleeding from her private parts, injuries on her neck and legs, according to the initial autopsy report. Meanwhile, the Federation of Resident Doctors Association has written to the Health Minister JP Nadda. They have threatened to escalate protests, including shutdown of services, if action isn't taken within 24 hours. In fact, the Indian Medical Association, in a strong warning, have said if action is not taken, there will be nationwide protests. An accused named Sanjay Ray has been sent to 14-day police custody. However, the cops are yet to confirm if he was directly involved in the murder. West Bengal Chief Minister has assured justice to the victim's king. Workplace safety, or the lack of it, and sexual harassment at workplace are a huge challenge. Almost 25 years after India got its first guidelines to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace, and 10 years after the government enacted a law for it, sexual harassment is a huge challenge in formal and more so in informal sectors. And that's really at the heart of these protests in Kolkata, where young women are not only demanding justice, but also asking what's the guarantee that this would not happen to them. I'm being joined by my colleague Adrija at this point. Adrija is at the protest site. Do we have Adrija with us? All right, so my colleague Adrija joins us at this point. Adrija, you are at the heart of where these protests are taking place. There's meetings that these protesters are holding. In fact, while you were speaking to them, they have repeatedly said they do not want this protest to be politicized. All they are asking is for justice and safety. But would you speak to them so that we could hear, as they hit the streets, what really are their big concerns? What is the focus point at this point as they hit the streets?
Well, absolutely. You see, right now also the protest continues at the campus of RG Kar Hospital, and it is continuing inside and outside the gates as well. First, I will take you to the students who are sitting down and protesting here. Let me directly go and talk to them. Ma'am, I would like to ask you that today, since morning, you people have been sitting here, you have been protesting. What do you want? What are your major demands in this matter?
So, first of all, we demand the postmortem report to place in public, and secondly, we want the judiciary investigation, and thirdly, the main culprit, who are the main culprit, they should be punished, not any other person like security guard or another. If he is the main culprit, one of those, then obviously he should be punished, but not. We don't think that only he was the accused or the person. So we want the judicial investigation, public postmortem report, and the safety of healthcare providers.
Do you feel safe or unsafe because this incident have taken place right inside your campus? How are you feeling now in terms of safety?
No, obviously we're not feeling safe here. I mean, we never thought this kind of incident will happen in our college, in our hospital during the work hour, and that whatever that happened, that heinous crime happened to a PGT doctor. That's the most, we all are surprised actually, but we are all feeling unsafe here.
Well, I'll try and talk to someone else also. आप बताइए कि how are you feeling now, because you know this incident have taken place right inside the campus, a very unfortunate incident. How are you feeling and what do you want the administration to do?
Yes, I am also a ex-student of RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, and when I listened that the incident is happened in this chest department, I was afraid of it. And today and yesterday at the night, my sleeping disturbance was present. And it is not only the RG Kar Medical College, but also there in other medical college, the condition of the health professional or the safety of the health professional is at the same level. So now we are demanding the publication of the postmortem report of Dr. And our next demand is to start the judicial inquiry for the rape and murder of Dr. Moumita Debnath.
Do you have trust in the police, the Kolkata police? Do you have trust in them?
Till now, the activity of the Kolkata police have not. There is any. The activity of the police is not satisfactory till now. So we are continuing our movement up to when our demand will be fulfilled by the government.
Well, of course, what we are hearing here from the protesters is that they are still not feeling safe and still want, police to act in a speedy manner. I would like to talk to someone else also. Ma'am, this unfortunate incident have taken place in one of the students of this same hospital. She was on duty and then this incident. How are you feeling? Do you have any trust left in the administration?
No, after this incident, I have no trust in this.
Are you feeling safe here?
No, I am not feeling safe.
What are your demands in the protest that you're sitting here since the morning? What are your demands, Major?
In this point, we have the demand of the PM report. That PM report, postmortem report, is our first demand, and after that, we should also demanding the main culprit with the authentic proof.
So, do you think the person who has been accused right now is not authentic, or is he being made the scapegoat?
This is not appropriate, or
Right.
there is not appropriate proof that he is the main culprit. So more proof. We want more proof.
Well, of course, you see,
Right.
these are what the protesters are demanding, and of course, they want more proof. They want speedy justice to be given.
Adrija, thank you very much for bringing us those voices. These voices are extremely important. Important for many reasons, and as we have been saying, these are ordinary women. These are women with dreams. These are women with ambitions. Some of them studying very, very far away from their families. Families have huge concerns. Every such incident has triggers. You've heard them speak about how they are sleepless. But, we must remember, while all of these women are on the street, there's one life that has been lost. One life. She was a daughter, she was a sister. She had dreams, and that's been snuffed off in the most brutal and humiliating way. No working woman deserves that. In fact, let me correct myself. No woman deserves that. I'm being joined at this point by Nirmal Kaur, who's a former IPS officer, as well as Dr. Charuvali Khanna, who's a former member for NCW and a senior advocate. We're hoping we'll be joined by more in due course. But thank you, women, for joining us. You both are achievers at your end, at two very different spectrums, if I may say. One is a law enforcer, one has been heading panels for policies and for implementation of the POSH Act as well. Thank you both of you for joining us again. As you speak, there's so much of responsibility in what we are discussing today. If I can just come to you, Dr. Charuvali Khanna, and this is not my question. In fact, there's one of my colleagues who put this question across, and I thought it was absolutely valid to just start off this discussion. As these young women come out on the roads asking for justice and safety, you have been on the panel for several POSH Acts. Where do you see the big lapse?
I think that the whole point, there are a whole lot of laws in India for the protection of women, but not a single law is implemented properly. As far as these girls, what you say, and you also said that they have left their homes, they've left their families, and they've come to study. You, as a woman and as a media person, know how difficult it is for a girl in India to follow her dreams. For her to study and to go out to be a doctor, to leave her home and to live alone. She has to fight her family. And this one incident, if sheer negligence by the government and the police, sets the entire, sisterhood backwards. Because parents will now not let their daughters go to study to do professional courses. They'll say you can't stay alone. And I'm absolutely shocked that in a workplace, in a hospital, I mean, one is always hearing that in the emergency, there are incidents of, the patients' families beating up doctors. And this issue has come up again and again, even before courts. Why is nothing done about the security system? And this specific crime is like a heinous rape. The way you were describing that, the body was found bleeding from her eyes, from her private parts. I mean, it's something absolutely like a demon someone has done it. So where are the CCTV cameras? Because from what the girls who are on protest, I mean, the students and the youth, young persons who are on protest, they feel that the police has just got hold of one person to quieten everyone that we are doing our job. And they're not satisfied. That means there's more to it that meets the eye. Where is the police's proper investigation? Where were the CCTV cameras? And
let me just get to Nirmal Kaur at this point. Even as you ask this question, Dr. Charuvali, I think we have an officer, Nirmal Kaur, with us, former IPS officer. Thank you very much for joining us. Ms. Nirmal Kaur, if I can ask you this question, what Dr. Charuvali is asking, and just to add to her, let's look at what happened in this college. There was this woman who was a trainee doctor, resident doctor, on duty on campus. She had a dinner with two juniors and she went to the seminar room because, at least her colleagues are saying at this point, that there was no other on-call room for resting. Rest, we know, are the details, the gory details that we have in the manner in which her body was found. This is the worst nightmare for any working woman.
Definitely. This is so. Definitely, it is a question. I mean, it's the most heinous crime. And in such circumstances where, in a hospital, where there are always people around, it's not in a lonely place or in a cloistered house or, in a far-flung place. It is in a main place where this has happened. And, she was on emergency duty. And why was she alone there? I think especially at night, women, and there should be a buddy system. At least two people should always be together. There has to be a buddy system, especially for women, that wherever they are, they should not be alone at night.
Nirmal Kaur, I mean, with all due respect, I do not agree with what you're saying. How can you have a buddy system? That itself means that we are paving the way for women not to progress.
No, it is not that. It is not that.
And if a woman
it
has
happens
to be
only
on
once,
the floor,
and you lose your
allow
life.
me to finish my question. Allow me to finish my question, and then of course you can take off the answer, but allow me to frame this question because many women will have this question. If you are a working professional, you may be on a shift, you may be heading a shift, you may be part of a shift, and you may be the only woman on the shift. A buddy system may not be possible, is not practical. In many professions, I totally believe even in policing that you represent. How can we say that there must be a buddy system? Safety has to be ensured beyond that, ma'am. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The buddy could well be a male. It needn't be another female. It is just that at night, I just feel, that till the time you have a zero crime society, which is a far off dream, adequate precautions need has lost her life. We can sit here and discuss till kingdom come, but she's not going to come back to life. So I think they say precaution. It is required. Some safety measures given the state of the society. Of course, we need to move from here. We need to have more, empowered women and a society which respects them, which they don't face this fate. But it happens ever so often. So why not devise, inbuilt systems? That is my point. I'm not in any way saying that women should not be given space to come out. Women should not
No,
be
no,
given
I get your
independence to
point.
come out.
I mean, I totally get your concern and your point, but I'm just saying inbuilt systems have to move beyond buddy systems. I'm sure we can have them. I mean, let's just move on. I have another panelist with me at this point, Manvi Taneja. Thank you so much for joining. Manvi Taneja, you come from a profession which has odd hours. There's no set hours of working. There's extensive travel. What's unfolded in Kolkata is a reality, harsh reality across India. In fact, Manvi Taneja, there's a high-profile case in Kerala that is being fought by an actor who was sexually assaulted by another superstar, allegedly by another superstar, and that's in court right now, right from your industry. That had brought out so many gory aspects about what allegedly happened to that actor, and to how an industry turned their back in most cases, and of course a powerful movement that eventually came. And Manvi Taneja, as you see what's unfolding in Kolkata, protests across cities now, what do you really have to say?
I have 2-3 points to say right now. The big question is, as of now, it is the failure of the system. I don't believe that there were any CCTV cameras which could actually see what has happened, because if you work in an environment where you are in the office, there has to be CCTV cameras installed, and they have to follow a proper protocol wherein there's a guard who always monitor the cameras, and if you have floors on the buildings, there are proper guards aligned on each floor, so that they can have a check on the employees, whether they're working, or and then if something is happening to any employer or not, but it is a system failure as of now. And if you talk about a woman, see, even I'm a woman, I also work on odd hours. I need to take care of myself also, because you cannot depend totally upon the system. There should be some precautionary measures taught to women, like there should be workshops wherein you can teach how to protect themselves. I have few of my friends who work in BPOs, wherein they organize workshops wherein they tell you how you can prevent yourself in case you are in a trouble. So I believe that being a woman, yes, one, there should be CCTV cameras, and they should also have some applications on their mobile phone. So if in case of any emergency, they can dial an SOS emergency number, and so on and so forth can reach you. There you can get help. But yes, there should be mobile phones with the applications installed. There should be CCTV cameras, and prevention is better than cure. For that, I think we should have workshops, more and more workshops, and starting from the school. Because from the school, if you start learning how to help yourself in the case of any crisis, I think it is better from schools. And because there are women who are not working also. We are talking about working women. What about those women who are not working? They are not protected by the guards. So I think
Right.
to prevent this, they should join some martial art training or something. Probably they can come out of the situation. I know women are less stronger than men because they have the power, but at least you can try to come out from that crisis, from that situation.
Right. Okay. Dr. Charuvali, you've heard what our panelists have said. Very quickly, Dr. Charuvali, and it's fair what Ms. Manvi has also spoken at this point. What about women who are not working? You've had Nirbhaya's case. You've had the Jisha case in Kerala. You've had what's unfolded in Kolkata currently. 3 women from very different stratas, 3 very different profiles, just a common, horrifying reality that binds them all together, unfortunately, in death.
Actually, there are different
Dr.
cases.
Charuvali, what could be really the things that could be done at this point?
See, I'm absolutely, I'm not surprised by what the lady who's from the police says, because the police, rather than owning responsibility, giving security to women and doing investigation in a professional manner, they put the burden on the woman. They say it's for you, join very, happily. Delhi police says that we've trained so many women in defense. But what the other lady or speaker said, she was speaking about women who travel late at night. They have their workshops, VPOs, carry pepper spray. But this is very different. This woman is in a hospital. A hospital is a safe workplace where patients are coming, where you're curing them. She's not walking on the street. She's not searching for transport like Nirbhaya. That was different. She is in her own safe environment of daily comfort. Every day she goes to work there. And we are talking, what is this absurdity about a buddy system? That means in my own workspace, where I'm doing more than, they do almost, I think, 48 hours of duty or something. They do definitely more than 28, 24 hours, where you're there constantly. That place is not safe. And let's assume an accident has happened, an incident has happened. There is someone who was brutally sexually assaulted and murdered her. Now, what is the role of the police? To find out so that you at least reassure the other students. They're all shaken up. Like you heard them say, they can't sleep at night. Look at the psychological impact. They'll think that we are working here, anything can happen to us. One doesn't imagine that a hospital where there's so many people, maybe at night, there aren't. But the other panelists said every floor has a CCTV. Do some investigation. Are we going back to the primitive ages? Like how otherwise it'll be like in the other states where there was an incident and they just shot them and they showed it as an encounter.
Okay.
Because our criminal justice system has totally failed. Even if they've got hold of someone else.
Nirmal Kaur, very quickly, I possibly may not have more time, but let me ask you, and Nirmal Kaur, I have to ask you this question. You spoke, and I'm not targeting you or I'm not, trying to corner you over buddy system. I understand where you are coming from. But when you talk about buddy system or when you talk about mobile apps, now, let's be fair. You're working in an atmosphere for 24 hours, 48 hours, even 12 hours. You want to go out for a break. You want to go to the washroom. You want to go and rest somewhere. You want to, all part of, when you have long hours. A buddy system can't really work when you have just limited people working in a private government. Buddy system really fails. You can't have people holding hands and walking together. It doesn't work like that.
No. I don't mean a buddy system as in the army.
Where does it work? I'm sure this woman had her... No, just a minute. You also have other suggestions like apps. Now, if a woman is... For whatever reasons, an employee has worked for X number of hours, how does a mobile app system help in a situation where she is being targeted beyond just an inappropriate touch? This is, her collarbone has been dislocated, which means there was a fierce back and forth. She tried all she could to defend herself and attack the attacker. Her collarbones are displaced. That's very clearly. So, absolutely. The way her injuries are there, it was not that she gave in or she just she just gave up. It was nothing like that, from at least what we can make out with the kind of reports.
There could have been more than one person.
Nirmal Kaur, in situations like this, absolutely, that's also a possibility. That's also some things that are coming up. We're waiting for the final report. But nonetheless, Nirmal Kaur, what I'm asking, mobile apps and, buddy systems and all fail when you have situations like this. Isn't the onus to be on the employers, on a safer environment to build that in systems than to... Go ahead, please.
Their security is definitely lacking. In these times, not to have a CCTV network in the hospital, it's sad because everywhere they have CCTVs now. They're so ubiquitous and they cost so little. And apparently the security is very, very lax. The guard is also in cahoots as the story is turning out, or he's been picked up, that's what the girls are saying. He's not even the main culprit. They picked him up just to kind of quieten the atmosphere. But the real culprits have to be found. I'm sure there'll be swabs and there'll be flesh under her nails and in the wounds at many places where DNA can be, matched. That who are the real accused. And that is part of the investigation. But for now, the security system needs to be spruced up. CCTVs, and also, we should not rebel. It is always safe amongst the crowds. We all start by rebelling at your age, and then we realize that precaution is the best part of. So it is better. I'm not saying onus is on the girl. Onus is on all of us.
Rebellion.
But
Where is rebellion here? A woman is going about doing her regular job. Rebellion is a foul word.
No, I see it
I
in
think
my
we're
own-
short on time as well. I just want to thank our panelists at this. I want to thank our panelists at this point because we also want to play out. We want to end this show by playing out the reactions that we have from students who are on protest. The big concerns that they are playing. If my team can just put it out and prep it up. Nirmal Kaur, Dr. Charu Wali, Manvi Taneja, thank you very much for joining us. These are very, very sensitive, worrying, humiliating realities that we really need to be facing, and hopefully India will be able to come off time to be able to handle this better. But meanwhile, while we end the show, we leave you with these voices from the ground.
जो पीएम रिपोर्ट है वो डॉक्यूमेंट होगा ना, वो अभी तक किसी ने नहीं देखा है। ये सिर्फ ये सवाल एक इंसिडेंट का नहीं है, ये है कि हमारा जो हॉस्पिटल जहाँ पे हम काम कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे हमारा सिक्योरिटी क्या है, सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी के सवाल है। ये बहुत महिलाएं हैं जो यहाँ पे काम करते हैं। ये एक लड़की की जान गई, एक डॉक्टर की जान गई है। ये कल मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है, दूसरे किसी के भी साथ हो सकता है।
इस जगह में मैं कैसे जाऊँ? कल से मेरा नाइट है, मैं क्या करूँ? अकेले ड्यूटी करते हैं तो कैसे करूँगी मैं ड्यूटी? अगर मेरे साथ कुछ हो गया तो तब क्या होगा? तब मेरा मम्मी पापा को क्या होगा?
हम लोग का प्रोटेस्ट एपॉलिटिकल है, लेकिन ये लोग वहाँ पे एआईडीएसओ का फ्लेक्स एआईडीएसओ का जो फ्लेक्स लेके आए थे, हम लोगों ने बोला जो आपको सॉलिडिटी दिखाना है बाहर से दिखा के चले जाइए, लेकिन उन्होंने बोला जो हम लोग को अंदर ही आना है। हमारा एक लड़का वहाँ पे इंजर भी हुआ है, जो एक यहाँ पे जो पढ़ता है लड़का था, फाइनल इंटर्न है, उसको हम लोगों ने ट्रॉमा में अभी भर्ती किया है।
हम सिक्योरिटी चाहते हैं, हम हेल्थ वर्कर्स इस हॉस्पिटल में सिक्योरिटी चाहते हैं, इस कंपाउंड में सिक्योरिटी चाहते हैं, हॉस्पिटल के वार्ड्स में सिक्योरिटी चाहते हैं, जाते हम सेफ फील कर सकते हैं और पेशेंट को अपना केयर दे सकते हैं।
There is no proper security. We have been working for hours and still we don't get even proper securities during the normal routine work also. There is no point of remorse after the incidents has happened.
We are said that we are the doctors और दूसरा लोग यहाँ पे सिक्योरिटी के लिए आते हैं, but we ourselves are not safe after this incident. People are taking these things and these incidents will also be carried for years or months and no decision will be there.